Leadership is competitive, and there's some things that I've learned from playing competitive sports that have really challenged my leadership. Yes, there's a lot of comparisons between being a leader and playing competitive sports. Actually, playing competitive sports actually does a lot of really good things to prepare you for leadership. I was very fortunate in my earlier years when I was a lot younger. I played a lot of competitive sports and played at a pretty high level. And so I had many opportunities to develop my leadership, what I thought was developing my leadership. But looking back, I realized there was actually a number of things that I did very poorly as a leader. And I'd love to share some of those with you too. So the first way in which playing sports has really challenged my leadership is leaders don't have to be the best players. I know. I suppose it was almost an illusion. Like, especially when you're younger, you see the best player is normally the captain of the team. And that was how it normally worked out for me. I was normally the captain of the team or whatever, or put in some form of a leadership role because I was one of the best players, if not the best on the team. Now, I used to think that it's because I'm the best player that I was put into the leadership position. And I then forced myself to be the best player, which made me focus on me and not the team. You can see where I'm going here. That if we as leaders focus ourselves on wanting to be the best person or the best performer, then it's all about us. Then we're focusing on us. And what I also found is then the results, the performance of the team fell on my shoulders. And while, yes, as leaders, we are responsible for the performance of our team, we're not responsible for the win. We can't carry all the weight ourselves. That's why we have a team. We can't do everything ourselves. And so looking back, I realized I was put in a leadership position because my teachers and my coaches all saw leadership potential in me, but I thought what they saw in me was just the best player. And so if you're trying to push yourself to be the best performer in your business, to be the best performer in your organization or in your ministry, you're going to burn out. You're going to carry too much expectation, too much weight on yourself, and you're going to do too much yourself, and you're going to be too much focused on yourself and not your team. So how about we focus on getting the team to perform rather than just making sure that we perform? And the second way in which playing sports has challenged my leadership is competition is not fun. I know what you're saying. Hold on a second. Hear me out. I'm very competitive. And yes, I find competition fun. But what I mean is if you want to compete, you can't focus on the fun first. We can have fun while we're doing it. Let me put it in sporting terms, which I'm sure you've been involved with teams like this. I've been involved with elite teams, and we all go in, we have fun, but we're all there to do a job. We're all there. We train properly. We execute on our plays properly. We make sure we check ourselves for our performance, and we're there to support the team and follow the instructions of the coach. Right? We do that, and we have fun doing that. However, I've joined some other teams that you rock up and their warm-ups is cracking a beer, and their uniforms are tutus or something. You know those sorts of teams that you just rock up and the people have literally just come to have fun. Now, I've got nothing wrong with that in recreational sports and things like that. If you want to do that as a bit of a social outlet, I love it. Like, it was a lot of fun, but we didn't win. It wasn't about the winning. We turned up just to have fun. Same when you're leading an organization, leading a ministry, we can kind of go too far the other way of like, I don't want to be an authoritarian, so I'm just going to be everyone's friend, or I'm just going to have fun. Well, do you want to win the game, or do you just want to have fun? Now, it's not all about winning, but we have been given a call, an anointing, a purpose from God to fulfill. We can't do that if we're just sitting around having fun. There has to be a balance. You have to execute on your plan, pursue the win while still having fun, right? There is a big difference. So please remember that if you're trying to avoid being a leader that that is just grinding people and working people to the bone, if you're trying to overcome that by just being the fun person, look at The Office. You've got Steve Carell, or the original Ricky Gervais.
I think that pretty much sums it up.
Just trying to be the funny guy, the fun guy, the guy that's just having fun. And we see how that goes. We can't be leaders just having fun. We've got to pursue our purpose, but we can have fun while pursuing our purpose. And the third way in which playing sports has challenged my leadership is losing sucks. Losing sucks. And while, yes, I've been very fortunate to be on many winning teams and been very fortunate to kind of always be at the top of the leaderboard and generally win I've had a lucky run of being on teams that have pretty much just won every game in the season, right? I'm lucky with that. However, we all lose games. There was always times we lost. And so those times suck, especially when you're around competitive people. And what I noticed is that my leadership was really challenged during those times. That's where I really needed to step up as a leader to rally the troops. Because it's all well and good to lead people when everything's going well, but the true sign of a leader is when it's not. And you as a leader will have people on your team that they might be losing in their personal life, or their project may fail, or they might lose a client, or they might get a bad review, or there's people that we are leading that will have losses. And so we need to make sure as leaders, we can rally them properly, sit with them, support them, encourage them, but show them hope for the future and how they can drive out of that loss. Help them discover what the lesson is from that loss. Help them actually make that into something practical that is an advantage for them, not a disadvantage for them. Find a way to help them rise up out of that. And isn't that what leadership is? Not just cheering people on when they're winning, but bringing people up out of that depths of despair when they're losing and turn them into a winner. So the ways in which playing sports has challenged my leadership is, number one, make sure that you don't focus on you being the best performer, but make sure you're helping your team be the best performer. Number two is competition is not fun. Remember, you can have fun while being competitive, but you're not going to have fun and be competitive. And then number three is we need to learn how we can pull people up, because losing sucks. Bring people up from a bad emotional space. Bring people up from feeling flat. Bring people up from feeling like there's no hope, and give them hope. Give them something to drive through, because that is what leadership is all about. Hey, so if you've liked this, give it a thumbs up and put a comment below and share how maybe your leadership has been challenged through some sporting expose that you have also done. And hey, if you enjoy more content like this, consider subscribing to the channel.